Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Really excited today because I think I'm going to start this kind of like mini series where at the beginning of every season I kind of go through books that fit like the seasonal vibe. I'm definitely a seasonal reader. I love to read snowy books in the winter and like beachy, summery books in the summer. Of course, like Halloween and October-y books in fall. So I thought it would be really cool to basically just grab a handful of books that I've read during the summer or give me super summery vibes that I think would be great beach reads, great for like your cabin in the woods kind of trip, camping trip, and still a little scary and gonna keep you on the edge of your seat. So yeah, as you can see by the title, today I'm gonna be doing 5 horror books to read that are great for the summer. So I've definitely talked about a bunch of these books on my channel before, but I don't know if I've ever spoken about them in these lenses. There are a few that I don't know if I've ever touched upon in this channel, but let's dive right in. So first is Paradise Club by Tim Meyer. This book came out earlier this year. I do have a full review of this book on my channel, but this book, even the cover kind of says it all, is very summery. It is about a family that goes on a resort vacation off like the Florida Keys, and just all mayhem breaks loose. I will read the back for y'all. So it says, welcome to paradise, sandy beaches, crystalline waters, an all-inclusive resort with virtually everything you can think of, a true idyllic paradise. An event is taking place at Paradise Club that wasn't on the brochure, a dangerous game pitting the hotel's guests against a gang of bloodthirsty maniacs. Elliot Harper, family man and FBI agent, is about to find out how fast heaven can become hell when every single vacationer is forced to become a ruthless killer in order to survive. A team of killers have been unleashed, and they won't stop until every single guest is dead. Let the mayhem begin. So this was a 4-star read for me. I really love this book. This is a very fun, fast-paced, gory, very well-written novel. I really loved it. I breezed through it. This is definitely one of the funner, more lighthearted, just ridiculous books on this list. And I highly recommend it. Also, please excuse my nails. They look terrible right now, but I'm literally like in the process of changing the color. So yeah, Paradise Club by Tim Meyer, definitely a great book to add for your summer reading list. Next up is The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager. This is the book that introduced me to Riley Sager's writing. Riley Sager is a master of leading you to conclude one thing only to give you some surprise twist ending that just literally blows you out of the water, and I think this is one of my favorite twist endings. I didn't see this coming at all. I was really taken aback by it. I was so blown away by the twist at the end of this book that this book went from being a 4-star read to a 5-star read in like the last 10 pages. This book is set at a summer camp, I believe in like upstate New York, and it's very much like a tribute to kind of like the Camp Crystal Lake vibe, but it's not a slasher book. It's an interesting kind of like whodunit thriller. I really love this. I will read the back of the book for you guys as well. So, 2 Truths and a Lie. Vivian, Natalie, Allison, and Emma played it all the time at Camp Nightingale. But the games ended the night Emma sleepily watched the others sneak out of the cabin into the darkness. The last she, or anyone, saw of them was Vivian closing the cabin door, hushing Emma with a finger pressed to her lips. Now a rising star in the New York art scene, Emma turns her past into paintings, massive canvases filled with the dark, gnarled branches that cover ghostly shapes in white dresses. When the paintings catch the attention of the wealthy owner of Camp Nightingale, Francesca implores Emma to return to the newly reopened camp as an art instructor. Wouldn't she like to put the past to rest? Familiar faces in the same dark lake haunt Nightingale, where Emma is even assigned to the same cabin she slept in 15 years ago. But not everything is the same. The only security camera is pointed directly at Emma's door, and long-hidden cryptic clues that Vivian left behind begin to surface. Soon, Emma finds herself sorting through lies from the past while facing mysterious threats in the present. And the closer she gets to the truth about Camp Nightingale, the more she realizes that closure could come at a deadly price. I really loved this. This book really makes you feel like you're at summer camp, which I really like. I think it's very well done, very crafty. It does really lead you in a bunch of different directions. The ending I thought was phenomenal. I think this might be my favorite thing that I've read from Riley Sager so far, so I highly recommend this. Okay. Next up is The Deep by Alma Katsu. So this book came out last year in 2020. and it is Alma Katsu's fictionalized retelling of the Titanic and its tragic sinking. Even though it was crashed by an iceberg, I do find this book a really fun beach read, because even though it talks about some serious matters, it is kind of lighthearted and fun. It's definitely spooky, and it takes place on a boat. And when I think boats, I think cruises, I think the summer, and I really, really, really enjoyed this. I think this was a 4-star rating from me, but I will read the inside for you very quickly. What really happened on board the Titanic? Someone, or something, must be haunting the ship. Between mysterious disappearances and sudden deaths, the guests of the Titanic have found themselves suspended in an eerie, unsettling twilight zone from the moment they set sail. Several of them, including maid Annie Hidley, guest Mark Fletcher, and millionaires Madeline Astor and Benjamin Guggenheim, are convinced there's something sinister, almost otherworldly afoot. But before they can locate the source of the danger, as the world knows, disaster strikes. Years later, Annie, having survived the fateful night, has attempted to put her life back together. Working as a nurse on the 6th voyage of the Titanic's sister ship, the Britannic, newly refitted as a hospital ship, she happens across an unconscious Mark, now a soldier fighting in World War I. At first, Annie is thrilled and relieved to learn that he too survived the sinking, but soon Mark's presence awakens deep-buried feelings and secrets, forcing her to reckon with the demons of her past, as they both discover that the terror may not yet be over. Brilliantly combining the supernatural with the height of historical disaster, The Deep is an exploration of love and destiny, desire and innocence, and above all, a quest to understand how our choices can lead us inexorably toward our doom. I really like this book. I really, really enjoy how Alma Katsu likes to take very tragic, scary events in history and add supernatural elements to it. I found The Deep to be very, very satisfying. I love the supernatural elements in it. I really liked the characters, and it was a pretty quick and easy read. So I highly recommend The Deep, and the twist ending in The Deep is also quite phenomenal. Alright, next up we have another kind of recent novel. This is the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. This book introduced me to Grady Hendrix. I got this in, I guess, right when it came out, so last summer. So I loved it. It is a vampire, it's exactly what it sounds like. It is a vampire story if a book club of moms in the 90s in South Carolina discovered there were vampires, like in their city of Charleston. This book is very, very dark, but it's also very funny and lighthearted in a very weird way. I think Grady Hendrix is really, really good at kind of balancing horror and humor, and I think this book does a very good job of it. Yes, there are some questionable scenes in this novel, there are some very, very disturbing scenes in this novel, but overall it is very fun and lighthearted, and the Charleston setting really gives me these summery vibes. I love Charleston, it's a beautiful city, and it's definitely very well captured in this book. You really do feel like you are in Charleston in the spring and summer for the majority of this novel, and I really think Grady Hendrix nails both the 90s and that city in this. So I will read the inside for you. In every book we read, no one ever thought anything bad was happening until it was too late. Patricia Campbell's life has never felt smaller. Her husband is a workaholic, her teenage kids have their own lives, her senile mother-in-law needs constant care, and she's always a step behind on her endless to-do list. The only thing keeping her sane is her book club, a close-knit group of Charleston women united by their love of true crime. At these meetings, they're as likely to talk about the Manson family as they are about their own families. One evening after book club, Patricia is viciously attacked by an elderly neighbor, bringing the neighbor's handsome nephew, James Harris, into her life. James is well-traveled and well-read, and he makes Patricia feel like she hasn't felt in years. But when children on the other side of town go missing, their deaths written off by local police, Patricia has reason to believe James Harris is more of a Bundy than a Brad Pitt. The real problem? James is a monster of a different kind, and Patricia has already invited him in. Little by little, James will insinuate himself into Patricia's life and try to take everything she took for granted, including the book club. But she won't surrender without a fight in this blood-soaked tale of neighborly kindness gone wrong. Again, this is a very quick and easy, fun read. I read this, I think, in like 2 days. Definitely an awesome beach read, especially if you are going down south for the summer. Bring this, enjoy the foliage, and get your vampire on. Okay, and last but not least is Stephen King's Geralds Game. Definitely the darkest book on the list. I did buy this and actually read it on the beach in Hawaii like 2 years ago and just fell in love with it. This is, I think, one of the most underrated Stephen King books of all time. This has some of my favorite twists and turns ever. This has one of the scariest characters I've ever read in literature. I love, love, love this book. It is also one of the most feminist books I've ever read. It's very pro-women. Stephen King did an incredible job portraying women, and I was thrilled with this novel. But it does take place at a vacation home in like a lake house, I believe in Maine. Maine would make sense, right? It's Stephen King. And it's actually paralleled with another kind of like 4th of July, like summertime event as well in our main character's life. So there's a lot of summery scenes. Again, this is a very, very dark book, very creepy, very scary book, but I did enjoy reading it over the summer, and I did really like the summery setting in it. It also kind of made the situation set in the novel to be a little bit more scary because you go from the vacation home to being fully isolated. So definitely some really interesting themes there. But I will read the back of the book. So it says, once again, Jessie Burlingame has been talked into submitting to her husband, Gerald's kinky sex games. Something that she's frankly had enough of, and they never held much charm for her to begin with. So much for a romantic getaway at their secluded summer home. After Jessie is handcuffed to the bedpost and Gerald crosses a line with his wife, the day ends with deadly consequences. Now Jessie is utterly trapped in an isolated lakeside house that has become her prison, and comes face to face with her deepest, darkest fears and memories. Her only company is that of the various voices filling her mind, as well as the shadows of nightfall that may conceal either an imagined or very real threat right there with her. This book is truly amazing. A lot of these books actually had crazy, crazy twist endings, and I think you'll really, really enjoy them. I think they're very suspenseful, very on the edge, very fast-paced, quick reads, which I think, in my opinion, makes them for a great vacation read. And luckily, they're all pretty eerie and scary, which is what I know I really like in books. So that might not be everybody's summer read vibe, but definitely a vibe I go for. So yeah, that is all that I have for you guys today. As always, I post every Monday and Thursday. If you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. That helps me out very, very much. And if you would like, let me know some summer reads that you guys really like down in the comments below, and I will be sure to check those out and see if I can get those on a beach read for some of my upcoming trips soon. So yeah, that's what I have for y'all today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you all in the next one. Mwah.